Hello everyone, this is that guy, and today I'm going to talk about an incident that happened in Twitter recently about Fate Strange Fate. So it happened because someone clipped a video of Giga where he basically explains that there's no need for prior knowledge of Fate in order to enjoy Fate Strange Fate. So this caused quite an uproar on Twitter, and a lot of people are bashing Giga for his opinion that you do not need prior Fate knowledge to enjoy Fate Strange Fate because Fate Strange Fate is a very reference heavy series and you definitely do require the Fate knowledge. So I think this is a very interesting topic and it once again comes down to the good old watch order debate that has been on the Fate community for a long time. And I want to chime in on my opinion regarding this matter. So before I start talking about my opinion, I need to mention the fact that I myself personally have read and watched a lot of Fate, and at the same time, I've also consumed the entirety of the Fate Strange Fate in light novel form. So I'm one of those people who has prior knowledge to Fate while diving into Fate Strange Fate. So my opinion will be based on that. So there are two sides to this opinion. One says that you need prior Fate knowledge to consume Fate Strange Fate, while the other says you don't. Me personally, I lean more towards the former. But there's a catch. I don't think you need all of Fate, even if it's recommended. My personal bias is that you should read the entirety of Type Moon before you start Fate Strange Fate. That is just my personal bias, but of course, I know that's not possible because no one wants to consume so much time and effort just to consume one series. And at the same time, there is also a hype train going on. The anime is about to release soon, so I understand why people don't want to go through the effort for now just to watch one anime. But even so, I would still recommend at least one Fate to read or watch. Either Fate Zero, Fate UBW, anything you want, because any Fate knowledge is better than none. So I think that's the bare minimum that you should have before you consume Fate Strange Fate. But of course, I understand that not everybody has the time. Now that I've talked about my own opinion, I want to help those newcomers to Fate Strange Fate because there is two angles that we can look from this. Why do you want to watch Fate Strange Fate? What do you watch it for? If you're watching it just for the pure entertainment value, the hype fights, the great animation, then sure, you can watch Fate Strange Fate as a standalone, and then you can have enjoyment and fun because the anime is most likely gonna have great animation and hype moments anyway. So you're gonna get a lot out of that if that's what you care about. But if in any sense that you care about the story, you care about it in some way that it would affect how you view the entire series, then I recommend at least one fate beforehand, like I mentioned before. Any fate would be better than no fate at all. So that is basically what I recommend. The reason why I recommend this is because just ignoring the references, there are too many plot points that are based on the foundations of other fate. And at the same time, knowing how far they are going to adapt the story, it is most likely that they are going to have a very tight pace, which means that they are going to cut something regarding the novels in order to fit the pacing. So the things that are most likely going to be cut from the anime in order to fit the tighter pacing will most likely be the extra context regarding the extra fate knowledge that you require in order to understand a specific part of the story. Let's take Gilgamesh and Enkidu as an example for now. So, the only thing that you will get from the anime so far is basically their personality and how they fight and how they have a relationship to each other. As for further details about anything about who they are, what are their backstories, all of those won't be shown in the anime at all, and it won't be shown in the novel as well, as all of these are previous Fate knowledge that you can either watch FGO or you can just read the Epics of Gilgamesh, which is where their backstory comes from in real life. Not just that, but Fate Train's Fate is also a pretty complicated series even for a Fate fan. So this is why we recommend having Fate knowledge before going in, so you can lessen the burden of having to follow such a complicated story. And if you watch all this and you decide that you want a complete guide on what to watch and read before Fate Reach Fate, I'm sure there's a lot of them online that you can find. But to dive deeper into this drama, there is one video that Ellen Historian basically made about the situation, where he mainly talks about 2 points. And the first point that he mentions is that Giga actually interviewed the anime directors themselves, and the anime directors themselves actually said that they would be very happy if a newcomer started Fate with Fate Strange Fate. So the second point Ellen the historian is trying to make is that he thinks the Fate fans are quite insufferable because we are bashing Giga for the exact opposite reason of why we bashed him the last time, in which this time he simplified the watch order and the last time because he complicated the watch order. So I want to address these 2 points and talk about more context. So regarding the interview that I talked about, he didn't actually give the full context because the screenshot he provided isn't the full screenshot because that is not the whole sentence that was being uttered out. If you take a look at this screenshot over here, you can see that previously the anime director said that even if they don't understand, as long as they seem interesting, then they will be happy to have Fate Strange Fate serve as a stepping point into the Fate franchise for a newcomer. Now, I think this is very important because the previous lines kind of subtly tells us that even the anime directors themselves don't actually believe that newcomers will understand Fate Strange Fate without prior knowledge. So I think this is a very misleading thing to do. And I think Ellen Historian maybe just missed this context regarding this topic. So I just wanted to address that. And the second point, which is us Fate fans for being insufferable for hating on Giga for doing the exact opposite thing. So to give some previous context, Giga basically made this video, which is a parody video, a joke video where he overcomplicates every single thing regarding the Fate franchise's watch order. And this video caused a lot of people to not want to watch Fate, thinking that it's a real video instead of a joke parody video. And because of this, the Fate community has quite a lot of hatred towards Giga these years because they really hate that video that he made. And now Giga is being bashed for doing the exact opposite of what he did before. Before he overcomplicated stuff, but now he actually simplifies stuff, saying that you don't actually need Fate knowledge in order to read another Fate. So to an outsider, it might seem that we are being unreasonable. But as for how I think about this, I don't think Giga is actually wrong. Because if you remember what I said before, it all depends on why you actually want to watch Fate Strange Fate. A lot of people, they just want to watch this thing for the good animation and the hype moments. And if that's the case, then sure, you don't need any Fate knowledge. But if you're watching it for the story, then I think it's inappropriate and you should require the Fate knowledge. And in this sense, I think that Giga isn't entirely wrong because you can enjoy Fate Strange Fate without having prior Fate knowledge. Because if you're just here for the hype fights and the great animation, then yeah, you're gonna enjoy it no matter what. So in the end, I kind of agree with Giga's take in the sense that you can enjoy it without Fate knowledge. It's just that personally, if you care about the story, I wouldn't recommend it otherwise. So yeah, that's the video for now. And next week is going to be episode 2 of Fate Strange Fate, which I'm very excited. And this week we are going to be rebroadcasting episode 0 and 1 again, which I'm going to rewatch. So I hope you all have a great day and I'll see you next time with another video from Fate Strange Fate.